Welcome to How We Heard It, the podcast about music, pop culture, movies, and more, with your hosts Wayne Bledsoe and Chuck Campbell.
Hey there, this is Chuck Campbell.
You always sound Wayne Bledsoe. You always sound so enthusiastic, Chuck.
And our engineer, John T. Baker.
Hi there.
Hey there. So, we kind of started in the middle of everything, but we didn't know that's what we were doing. But anyway, last time around, we were welcoming in 2025 with a look at music and what we hope to see in music and trends and what we hope not to see and blah, blah, blah. And somebody, I think it might have even been me, had the great idea of going back over the last 50 years of music. And by the time we got to the end of the history lesson, it was kind of like, okay, here's what we're worried about. Bye. So
Yeah.
this week, we're going to look at movies. And I am determined not to go back over the history of movies. We don't need to do that.
Right.
But we want to look at where movies are now, where the film industry is now. What we're encouraged by, what we're worried about,
And where we expect it to go.
Where we expect it to go. You got anything you want to say to kind of kick off here?
Well, I'd like to say that there's always this idea that movies are on the way out, everything's going back, especially since the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Everybody thought movies are over, everybody's going to watch everything on TV, and they're not.
No.
And the way that I can say that is of the top 37 top-grossing movies of all time,
Right.
all but one were made after the year 2000.
2000?
2000 and up.
Okay.
Or actually after the year 1999.
Okay.
And of the top 100, there's only 5 that were made. I mean, that's not adjusted for, the...
Before 2000, there were only 5 movies made before 2000.
Right.
Without adjustments for
Right.
time and all that.
Right. Yeah. When sometimes you adjust it for, okay, how much is this money worth, in 1940 or whatever. And
Right.
this is just in real money now.
Right. I did try to look at some stats and stuff, and I just got more and more bogged, and depending on what you were looking for,
Right.
is how you found anything. And I finally thought, I'm just going to kind of go with it. So here I am going with it.
Right. One of the things, I was looking over this stuff. I mean, there's 2 tracks. One track is, how much money something makes, and the other track is how acclaimed it is, or, what movies are going out there, how many are going out. And I think the concerning thing that people like us look at is, okay, nearly all these movies are superhero movies or sort of fantasy type movies and things like that. And there's
Disney animation movies.
Disney animations have done great. And of course, when you've got a franchise like the Harry Potter stuff, which the last of that came out in the 2000s, then you've got this cash cow that they don't ever want to get rid of.
Right.
And while I do think that superhero movies are going to keep making a whole lot of money, I think it's going down.
I think it is. There is evidence that it's going down. Just the last year, maybe the last 2 years, just the glut of how many superheroes, because they just think, they were thinking years ago, wow, we can just keep doing more and more of these and more and more of these and signing up bigger stars and huge budgets and everything. They started saying, oh, people are kind of tapping out on this. And just bringing back the same superheroes over and over and like secondary ones and just like every other week, it seems like there's another superhero movie. I think it's the diminishing returns, you know? And I mean, I didn't read comic books, so I'm not interested in superhero movies to start with, but I'm not automatically against them.
Right.
I saw, Deadpool, or I think I saw a couple of the Thor movies, Guardians of the Galaxy. I saw the first one of those. Maybe, I don't know, not much else. But as far as I don't want to see the 3rd and 4th and 5th one of these movies. And I don't want to see another Superman, Spider-Man, yada, yada, Wonder Woman. It's like they've had enough. They've done enough. They follow the same. Some of them they try to add comedy to. That's why I went to see Thor, because I knew Chris Hemsworth, or Deadpool with, Ryan Reynolds. So I knew it was going to be a little bit different. So if it was going to be different, I would go see it. But yeah, I do feel like I've been kind of factored out of really being that interested in them at all.
And I do think it just hit a saturation point.
Yeah.
And, I'm heartened by the fact that it seems like audiences want something different.
Yeah. Oh, well, see, that can I jump in here?
Jump
Go
in.
ahead. Go ahead.
Please do. No, I was just saying that when you start looking around at some of the movies coming out, I mean, the franchises are still big. Everybody wants a franchise movie.
Yeah.
But I think that like you just said about diminishing returns, that's kind of going down, and there's a lot of original cool stuff that's starting to come out.
Right.
That's different.
Right. And, I was going under the assumption that, okay, you get older, movies don't appeal to you anymore as much. And I think part of that, there's some fact to that in terms of the movies that are cliched and go through the same tropes. When you're a teenager, you're seeing them for the second or third or fourth time. And the older you get, the more you've seen it and the more repetitive it seems, and then you just don't, you're numb to it.
Right.
But there is an undercurrent of people trying their best to come up with a different gimmick for a lot of these things. Some of these, like horror films, I love horror films, but some of them are very much the same old thing and the same old.
Yep.
But there's so many that take different turns.
And horror is one of the places, the biggest places where that's happening.
Absolutely.
And that's where the auteur directors that we're getting are coming out of. Ari
Absolutely.
Aster, Robert Eggers, and Yorgos Lanthimos is not really horror.
Well, that's another good point, though. Go ahead, though.
But it's just so different and uncomfortable, and it makes me feel good that these people have an audience, because all those three filmmakers at least, and then there's the Nicholas Winding Refn, or however you pronounce his last name, he does uncomfortable stuff too.
Right. And it's not even just uncomfortable stuff. I think the thing that's exciting to me is that, the old everything in silos. You have a rom-com, you have a comedy, you have an action movie, you have a superhero movie and all that stuff. It's all kind of flowing together. And you've got these horror movies that are also dark comedies, that are also suspense, thriller, whodunits, and sometimes there's supernatural and sometimes there's not. And I like that it's just kind of all-inclusive type movies that are hard to label. And like what was the movie that came out in late 2024, The Substance, and that was Demi Moore, right? And I saw it, and it was like, it's kind of body horror, and it's kind of just weird and uncomfortable and futuristic. And I think they entered it in as a dark comedy, and I thought, well, that probably works too, you know? So if anything can be anything, that kind of opens the doors to more creativity rather than having to follow the tropes for whatever genre you're in.
And one of the good things about what's going on right now, because, we're normally so doom and gloom on the future, but one of the good things that's happening is you have these specialized channels like Shudder.
Yeah.
And that's always a market for new horror films, but they sometimes put money behind new horror films that are being released theatrically, and they want something different. And you have a way that, okay, if it bombs at the box office, you have a place where it's going to go, and it's going to find its audience. And I think that's one of the good things about, because a few years ago, people were going on about how independent films are doomed because of the blockbusters and all that, and they were going on about TV too. Yeah. But TV is really a great place to release these films if they don't find their audience in the theaters.
Well, I think what's happening is the big, huge blockbusters that have to hit. Right. They've got $200 million, $300 million budgets. They got to make a ton of money. There's not as much in between. Now people are making smaller movies that don't have to make as much money, so they can just go on streaming. They can have like a week or two in theaters and then go to streaming or whatever, and they'll cover their costs, and it's not about everybody's trying to make as much money possible out of every movie that's being made. And that really opens the door to a lot of leeway. I think people are open to seeing movies without, movies used to be so star-driven, but now if it is the director or a production house or something like that, you may not know the main stars. We were just talking about, you saw
Strange Darling.
Strange Darling. Now, I'd recommended that a while ago, but you saw it, and it's like, we were talking about how we didn't even know who the leads were, but we knew the movie would be different. Not as different as either one of us expected it to be.
It was a surprise.
Yeah, and it didn't matter that we didn't really know the main characters and the main actors. And not to say that giant actors aren't still going to carry big, huge films and everything, but there's not as much of that. And production companies and everybody's had to be a lot smarter now because, one, streaming services, right? That took a big slice. People are like, oh, I don't have to go to the theater. And going to the theater is not cheap, I mean, you can go to a matinee, just a couple of people, and popcorn, and you're $60, $70. Some cities even more than that. And that's a lot of money to give to sit for an hour and a half at a movie you don't like,
But the fact that you can rent the film and watch it at your house, TV screens are so big now.
Yeah.
I mean, mine's like 60 or something.
Yeah.
And it's great. I mean, you can see a big, expansive picture, and you don't feel like you've missed that much. A horror film, for sure, you miss the audience.
Yeah,
Comedy's
I miss the audience
thing.
of a horror film. I can't. I don't like. I need the immersive experience of a horror film, and I can't get it when I'm at home because I'm thinking, I wonder if there's still some cherry pie in the refrigerator, and then the dog wants to go outside, and it's like, do you pause it or do you just, take her out and bring her back and get caught up and like in the theater, you got to turn your phones off, and I do. I just leave my phone in the car. I don't even want to have to worry about it. Yeah. But at home, I don't turn my phone off,
But that's the thing people are so worried about. I mean, I like having the choice because there's certain movies I didn't go see. I haven't watched Beau is Afraid yet. I do want to see that at some point, but I did not want to go to the theater and sit through nearly 3 hours of that.
Right. Yeah,
I will sit,
movies. Yeah, that's a commitment.
And movies are getting longer.
Yeah, some of them are.
Yeah, which is crazy. But I think we all still want that communal experience of going to the theater, and just like you said, someplace where you're turning your phone off. My daughter, we talked about it all the time. It's like, yeah, we could watch that at your house, but I'll still be distracted.
Yeah,
I want to go. I want to see it someplace where I know I can't just get out my phone and start reading messages. Right.
And if you're somewhere in a dark room where you're not supposed to have your phone on anyway, and everyone's attention is directed to the screen, then it is immersive, And I just like nestle into my little seat with my popcorn, and if the movie sucks, then I hate it, But
you go to sleep. If the movie sucks, you go to sleep.
I go to sleep in good movies too. I don't know. It's just that environment that I think it's that I'm finally free. I don't have to look at my phone, and the dog can't make me take her out, and all. It's like I don't have to worry about cherry pie here. I got my popcorn, so But I don't know. I the horror films especially, I need immersive, but like a comedy or something with lower stakes. I'm fine with watching that at home, especially like you say, if it's a long movie and I'm going to have to watch it over 2 or 3 sittings.
But I took my grandson to see Nightmare Before Christmas in 3D.
Right.
I have a copy of it. It's not in 3D.
Right.
It's not in a theater, and I wanted to take him to the theater where he's going to be focused on it, and we can just sit and do nothing but watch that movie.
Right.
And it was great. And I spent. How much money? I probably spent $60.
Yeah, for a movie that you already have on DVD and everything. But still, the experience is so substantially improved. In a theater, 3D and all that. So.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, I'm not a big fan of 3D overall.
Right.
But I'm happy that certain things are nearly always offered in 3D because. Yeah. There are certain movies. Nightmare Before Christmas was great in 3D.
Right.
It's a great movie, whether you watch it in 3D or the standard, like I saw it when it first came out.
Right.
But it's kind of cool to see it in 3D, too.
Yeah. And you remember all the horror movies they used to have 3D in 3D, and everyone's using spears and harpoons and long knives, and it's just everything's waving in the camera. It's like, wow, they really go too far with that.
Well, the best 3D horror film I ever saw, and it was just because they just knew what little elements to throw in, was I think it was Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
The third one 3D. And there's like sheets.
I think it was part 3.
Yeah.
In 3D, yeah.
And sheets are like hung up on the line and blowing in the wind, and the sheets look like they're coming at you and everything. And the killer, of course, is behind the sheets at some point.
I think they did a Piranha, a 3D Piranha one.
I didn't see that.
Great.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the Piranhas? Oh, the first one was because it's so hilarious. It was far more comedy than horror.
I think that first Piranha, I think John Sayles wrote that. The great, independent director.
Okay, well, that would make sense.
He was one of those he did.
Yeah.
So that probably made it that much better.
Do y'all remember movies in Sense-Around?
Oh, yeah. Sensor.
Oh,
They were
Earthquake.
like big
I remember hearing about
the
that.
disaster movies.
They shook the
They had big
seats.
subwoofers. It was like
Well, they are not doing as many of the disaster movies as they used to.
No.
You know, just straight up disaster.
There's apocalypse movies.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, that's the
the
new
apocalyptic future.
World War Z, that was pretty gripping, but that was more apocalypse than an earthquake or something like that.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Yeah. Well, so the movie business, the challenges it really has faced, and what has adjusted what we can expect from these people. Of course, the pandemic that hit the movie industry probably even worse than the music industry.
Oh, yeah.
Because you couldn't. The theaters closed,
Right.
And so the theaters closed, and they were closed for months, and people were afraid to go back even when they reopened, and so all the movie companies, the major movie companies, were pushing back all their releases and pushing back, and so everything got kind of all topsy-turvy, and not only that, you had I think there was a Writers Guild strike.
Right.
There was I believe a Screen Actors Guild had a strike at some point after the pandemic.
Right.
And it was just kind of hampered, and they used to stack up all their superhero movies.
Right.
They'd stack them up, so every couple of weeks there's another one, and everything was backing up, and so it really did affect it. It impacted budgets. I think it impacted the big money makers more than anybody, obviously.
But look what happened afterwards. Oppenheimer and Barbie came out in the same
that's
summer.
That's the thing, is that I thought, I think I told you before we started this that I originally just assumed that if I look back at movies, I'd realize how much worse they are now and blah, blah, blah. And then I started writing down the movies I've liked just from the past few years. It's like, wow, so many great movies have been coming out.
Yeah.
And that Barbie Oppenheimer, that was people were tired of staying at home and all this stuff, and there was two big movies, and they're like, we're going to put them both out on the same weekend. So a lot of people made the point of going to see both movies on that weekend, and one of them, Barbie, was the biggest grossing film ever, and then Oppenheimer ended up being the Academy Award winner with all the awards. So they were the two cornerstones of the most substantial measure, either by just raw profit alone or accolades.
And they were both good.
Yeah.
And they were both surprising in the way they were delivered.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to like Barbie, and Barbie was fun.
Yeah.
And it had a point, and I got the point.
And it stuck to it. It wasn't just a super gentle, women are people too. I mean, it was more pointed than that. I mean, it wasn't over the top or anything, but
No.
it was surprisingly kind of tenacious about the messaging, which I thought was great.
Yeah, I thought so too. And then Oppenheimer, I mean, it definitely was. There was a point they were making, and I'm not a big Christopher Nolan fan overall because I've hated a couple of his movies.
Right.
But I thought it did exactly what kind of an epic biography should do, and I was not bored in the least, and it was over 3 hours.
It was a long movie.
it was long.
Yeah, but
It was definitely long.
But I was not bored. I thought
No,
it was really well done.
Right.
But I mean, one of the things I wanted to bring up when we were talking about this is the trend on what movies are being made and what the trend is. And of course, musicals and westerns, they went out a long time ago.
I made a couple of lists from a couple of stories I went through. What did you find in your?
Well, the thing that's exploded, I mean, horror is going way up because you've got so many outlets for it now. And plus, the horror films have been good and original. I mean, original ideas. It's not the same old junk.
Right. And I think it has benefited from expanding beyond just a strict horror film genre. And it might be a dark comedy, it might be a suspense, and it might be a mystery. It might be all of those things.
But it's new topics for horror. I mean, sure. I mean, we've got demon possession on things.
Sure.
But just like the Argentine film I brought up a while back, When Evil Lurks, that was a very different take on demon possession.
Right.
And The Witch, which is a period piece, for God's sakes. It's in the 1700s.
Right.
It was very different in the way it was presented. And The Lighthouse, another Robert Eggers movie, I mean, I don't even know what the hell that was. I mean, that's nothing that you could.
Right. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one.
You
That
can't.
was Robert Pattinson and
Robert Pattinson
yeah.
and Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of the things that gives me hope. I mean, I'm mixed on that movie, but for audiences to sit through Willem Dafoe violently, aggressively farting in that movie. I mean, and that becoming a big point of the plot.
We're talking about how movies are so much better. Is it
Well,
because of the violent farting?
It's because nobody would have said, "Yeah, I want to see a movie about that." I want to.
Right.
I don't. That's not an element, but
Right.
it's everything about that movie was strange,
Right.
And it put a lot of people off. But
Right.
there's a lot of people who totally dug it.
Well, and that's, even the more traditional ones, like you remember, I was talking about the movie Immaculate with Sydney Sweeney, and she's a nun and she's pregnant and yada, yada, yada. But the last 10 minutes, the whole thing just turned inside out, and it was just crazy. And this was in a big, mainstream push movie,
Right.
and all these people had invested all this time, and then it just went overboard in a way that no one expected. And you can get that too. It's like, you know what? We're going to follow. I mean, some of these directors or whatever, they'd be like, we're going to follow about 80% of what they expect.
Yeah.
But we're really going to get them, with something that they're not going to see coming.
And I mean, you called me up right after you saw, or you sent me a text, I think, right after you saw it when you saw Barbarian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it was like, there's no way that you can anticipate what is going to happen in that movie. It throws so many dog legs, that you just can't. You start laughing kind of in the middle of it because you think, where the hell is this going to go now?
Right.
But it works.
Right.
It
exactly.
was so much fun, start to finish.
Yeah, I agree. And it was just like. It was like I always say, it's like 3 movies, and all 3 of them are complete surprises, and they all 3 go in directions you don't expect.
And I think we talked about it when we were talking about horror films, but it follows.
Yep.
I mean, this is a totally different kind of plot.
Yeah.
Where demon possess, or you're going to be killed by what's basically a demonic venereal disease.
Right. And the flip side is you're supposed to have sex with people to get with it. You're not supposed to be that virgin, or whatever, because that's how you get rid of it and pass it on. And that was one of the things is I was making so many notes on, like we saw last night with the devil, right?
Yeah,
that was very unconventional, like a Carson-esque kind of
Johnny
spoof
Carson
from the 70s. Yeah, Johnny Carson. Yeah, I guess I need to use the first name for people. But it wasn't just that. It was like, Talk to Me. I told you about the Australian movie with the hand, and you're thinking, oh, this is going to be something that one by one people are going to be infected. But it's like, no, it went into this whole limbo land of life and death, and it just singled in on one character that you didn't expect. And what was it? Prey. That was the Native American,
right?
Prey.
That was such a surprise.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, who would expect a Predator movie to be the first Predator movie I thought was fun.
Right.
But Prey is way better.
Yeah.
It's much more engrossing. It's like it's about the character more than the monster.
Right.
And I thought it was terrific.
Did you see No One Will Save You? Do you remember that? That was the alien invasion, and this woman,
I meant to
almost
watch that.
no dialogue at all.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow, she's like fighting this off, and it's just matter of fact. And X, the Mia Goth Ty West trio.
Oh, yeah.
X and Pearl and Maxine, all of those were different. Megan, the doll, that was like unexpected. I don't know. I just kept writing them down.
Well, the
Bodies. I talked about Mean Girls in a slasher film. Again, combining so much comedy. I saw it again after I talked about it. It's like, wow, there's so much good dialogue in this,
Well,
and how these women just pivot their, because the guys were really inconsequential in the movie,
right.
And there were like 5 gals, and they were just pivoting one to another, just like coming at each other and then supporting each other, and it was just like this, and it's in the bloodiest background of all, but it's just like so funny.
Well, the Jordan Peele movies.
Get
Out.
Nope. Get Out. I didn't see Nope at first because I thought, well, I don't know if I'm going to like that. But
right.
Then I saw it and got what it was about, and I was like, wow, it's just so imaginative. Once again, just like...
And Them is a totally different idea. I mean, I don't think he's gotten better than Get Out. Get Out was... Get Out is
Get Out was
kind of
best,
staggering when you get to the secrets of it.
Right.
But he is coming up with original stories.
Right.
It's not, let's remake something. I mean, I want to see the Nosferatu movie when it comes out because it's going to, I think, with Eggers directing, it's going to be great.
Right.
But I want to see this new stuff. I mean, Quiet Place.
Yep, Quiet Place. And did you see the last one, which was like the first one?
No, I haven't watched that one.
Yeah, well, that was very different from the others. It's like they're not just following the same form. Typically with sequels, and we are seeing so many sequels now. We are getting too much of that. And typically in a sequel, it's like, how can we make this? How can we branch out? And how can we branch out? With Quiet Place, it's been like, boom, just totally different perspectives of what's going on.
Well, it's like the Cloverfield stuff. I mean, there's another monster.
From the first to the second, it's like, how... Yeah. I think the second one was with John Goodman, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, how is this Cloverfield? I just couldn't understand at all how we went from the New York or whatever the setting, this urban invasion and everything, and all of a sudden we're in Missouri or something, and it just seemed like some totally different movie. And then just the really weird ones we saw, like Lamb. You saw
Lamb is really strange.
And I really liked Lamb, but we talked about that, and I think that one was both a miss for us. But
it was
inventive before the body horror.
I thought it was really, really scary until you get to the. I mean, it's unlike a lot of these other movies where it's like, okay, the last 10 minutes like redeems it. With that movie, it was like the last 10 minutes, or you're like, what the hell?
Right. I mean, yeah. But I saw in that, I saw a director trying to go somewhere different at least,
Yeah, and I appreciated that.
No easy resolution. There were a lot of movies that kind of missed the mark for me. I think I saw the TV Glow. I know a lot of people like that. I found that torturous, but I appreciated the whole idea of just kind of turning it into an anti-movie, trying to turn it upside down.
Well, I watched We're All Going to the World's Fair, which is...
What did you think of that? I didn't see that one.
It's one of those movies where the plot, the idea is original and it's good, but I don't think that the movie makers had enough experience. Okay. They tried to do... And they thought they could do everything themselves. I think the person that directed it wrote it and maybe edited it. I can't remember.
Oh.
But it was a big disappointment because it was a really good idea.
Okay. But again, you could appreciate, imagination or whatever.
And it's all, of course, unknown actors. And the actress who was the lead was really, really good. I just wish she'd had a better movie to be in.
Right. Did you see Crimes of the Future?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Well, that one was kind of disappointed me too. But again, I could see, how. Anyway, I could see the imagination and everything coming through.
Yeah.
Saw 10. Did we talk about Saw 10? Okay, the Saw movies, it's like these graphic kind of killer movies. Part 10, for whatever reason, they made the enemy or the evil one in all this the sympathetic character. Oh. And you kind of wanted him to go after these people, and it was just a total flip. And it was just like adding like 10 or 15-minute prologue to it. So I don't know. I haven't seen the Terrifier movies. Have you seen those?
No. It's I haven't. The stuff that's just pretty much based on just gore.
Yeah.
I don't think that I'm going to see anything new in the Terrifier.
Well, I've wanted to see it because I've heard so much, but it might be one of those cases of where I've already seen that kind of thing too many times, and it's not new enough. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I may eventually watch something. May eventually watch it, but
did you see In a Violent Nature? That's the movie from the point of view. Okay, I haven't seen that yet either. I think Shudder is the one that's brought that out.
Right.
But it's a serial killer from the point of view of the serial killer.
but it's also kind of like a Friday the 13th kind of serial
exactly.
killer.
But from
his perspective,
Jason's perspective.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, one of the excuse me. The other things that are going up, there's science fiction movies. There's more science fiction out there than has been in a while, which is a good thing because you can.
Well, that's mixing also in with the horror.
Right.
You get. Go ahead.
But you can bring up more original stuff.
Yep.
With science fiction.
Yep.
And the other big one, and it's mostly more geared toward TV, is documentaries. And documentaries now, crime documentaries especially, are like blowing up.
Yeah.
And sometimes they won't get released theatrically, but the ones that get released theatrically, I think, are doing pretty good too.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. I do.
So, and I feel very good about the level of creativity and what's coming out, and better than I felt 10 years ago about it.
Yeah, me too. Well, 10 years ago, I mean, some of the stuff that has kind of died out, like the action movies.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I mean, I've told you there's a cardiovascular theater at the gym. So they're always showing movies, and a lot of them are from like 10 years ago, right? And I see so many just god-awful movies. It's just all car chases and gunfights and car chases and gunfights.
And they can survive anything. They may as well be superheroes.
Yeah, exactly. And just I saw one, it was just like a 15-minute car chase where every tire on every car was squealing and every engine was revving, and they were shooting out windows and yelling over and hearing each other and going through some city. And all I can picture is like a handful of old rich guys channeling their 10-year-old selves and saying, oh, and we can blow up this car, and then we can have a plane crash in the middle of the car crash, and blah, blah, blah. And
at some point, does somebody look into the camera and say, I'm getting too old for this shit?
Yeah, exactly. They need to.
John, you have pointed out the very type of movie that makes me want to punch somebody. The ones that have the script doctors in there, come up with some taglines, some real cute lines. And it's like, that's the reason I haven't seen several movies that they have previews for, because I can tell they've got these little lines in them. And it's like, that's going to piss me off.
Well, they make me laugh, and then that makes me very unpopular in the theater audience. There's one, the Fast and Furious chain. I did watch a couple of them, and I thought they were okay. And then there was one, I don't know who the character was. I don't know if it was The Rock or Michelle Rodriguez or Vin Diesel or whoever. But there's a scene, there's like two car chase type scenes going on, and one's going in one direction, one's going in another direction. And there's this bridge. It's actually two bridges with a big gap in between. And a character jumps out of a car from one side and lands in the car of the other one. And I just laughed and laughed. And I realized everybody was ready to kill me. It's like, there's no way that this is going to happen. It's just so ridiculous.
Just to interject something very quickly about the time that happened to me. I do it. I've done that at like really critically acclaimed movies.
I
don't know if you've seen Bad Lieutenant. Did you see Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a comedy.
Oh, the nude scene?
No, the whole movie.
When I saw the nude scene with him crying,
right,
there was some woman. It wasn't me, but I got it because she was just laughing and because it's like this prolonged nude scene, and he's crying, and she was just laughing like it was the funniest thing she ever saw.
I think the whole movie is meant to be a comedy.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Nobody else in the theater when I saw it thought it was, and I could tell everyone was getting pissed off at me, but I thought it was hilarious.
Right.
I mean, it's dark, it's mean, it's violent, it's horrible.
Right.
But I really think the director, Abel Ferrara, meant it to be funny.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, out of respect to the other people seeing the movie, I don't like it when I'm seeing a horror movie that's really scary and someone's laughing. It's like, oh, get out of here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I felt kind of bad, but it was also like
Well, I never went to another Fast and Furious movie in the theaters. Like, I'm not going to risk that again. But and that's the thing. The explosions. Like I say, the last one of the last movies I saw at the cardio theater, it was all car chases and gunfights, and one of the car chase guys was having PTSD. So it was flashing back to war scenes and blowing up, and just such sappy, like there's some, like a Middle Eastern city they stationed it or whatever being blown up, and he runs out, and he grabs a little newly orphan girl who's just there, and he's running off with her, and he's like, oh my God, how did this get made? This is so awful. And I don't want to see those again, and action movies are kind of, I mean, we did have a Top Gun come out a couple of years ago, and there was another Harrison Ford movie, another Indiana Jones movie that came out. So they're still managing to get those out, but I think they're putting a little more thought into those at least, and not just trotting out just garbage. But gunfights, car chases, explosions. Very limited doses for those. Otherwise, if a whole movie's based on that, then what am I even doing here? I'm not 10 years old anymore,
John, do you have anything to add? Because we've been talking like crazy.
Well, I told you before we started this that I was going to defer to you guys because you are movie experts. Most of the movies y'all are bringing up, especially the horror stuff, I've never even heard of them. Yeah. So I just feel like, what's the old thing? Better they better to remain quiet and have them suspect you're a fool than to open your mouth and throw it all out.
Yeah.
That way
you can almost even, you can sit there and just kind of judge us or make us think you're judging us. And then we feel like, oh, we have really shallow tastes in movies here. He's clearly not liking
No,
us.
I mean, I appreciate music in much the same way that you guys appreciate movies. And I think I have a fairly encyclopedic knowledge of that sort of stuff. So when we have those conversations, I feel comfortable jumping in.
Okay.
But I do have a movie to recommend when we get there.
Okay. All right.
We'll get there. Well, now, the horror films, like I said, there are some horror films that still follow the old tropes, right?
Right.
And I think those are fine for the teenagers. I've seen it enough. I don't need to see it anymore. But if you've only seen a couple of these kinds of, cliched movies, then you'll probably enjoy it. But at this stage in the game for me, I'm not enjoying it.
Well, I just watched the newer version of Salem's Lot.
Mm-hmm. How was that? I wasn't really tempted. I thought, why?
It's one of those things. It's like if you have a movie where somebody has to explain what vampires are or how to fight vampires.
No, we don't need that.
Give me a break.
Right.
This is 2025 we're looking at here, and nobody doesn't know about vampires.
Right. Exactly.
Not even if it's set in 1972 or whenever it was set.
Yeah. All vampire lore was out there already. So it's been out there for a long time.
So give it up. I mean, just if you can't do something new with vampires, and there was no reason to remake that, because the original TV version is still 1,000 times scarier than what they did on this HBO version.
Well, I won't waste my time on it.
It's it's not boring, but at the same token, you're sitting there going, "Oh, come on."
Well, some of the tropes I also don't like. One, I don't like, this is sort of hand in hand with it. I don't like it when they're so complicated. I feel like I need like an instruction booklet to understand all the rules of what I'm seeing, And it's like, I don't know, if this firstborn happens to be the cousin of that thing, and there's a mysterious fluid and a bear, and just all this stuff. It's like I can't line all that up. I'm not here to be challenged like that. Make it a little simpler. I would love. Well, another thing I don't like is the paranoia thing. There's always a paranoia, and like the first Smile movie, I thought was really good, and it was very uncomfortable. But I did get around seeing Smile 2, and it was just too much. It was just. She was already a bad sort anyway, and it was just all about her, and it was just so loud, and nobody believing anything she said and anything she saw, and just movies where the whole movie is, you got to believe me. Yeah. And I was like, ugh, it's like, I would love for someone to say, for her to say something, at 3:00 in the morning, I woke up and I saw someone in my kitchen, and be like, oh, hell, let's find out, instead of it's always, oh, well, you're just stressed out, and, You're just stressed out, just immediately not believing them, and they're just trying to convince people through the whole movie. It's like I don't need so much paranoia. A little bit's okay,
Well, I wanted to bring up another. I mean, sort of related to all this is just like with music and everything else. Movies now can be made cheaper, and if somebody is creative, they can make a movie for nearly nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean Baker, who did The Florida Project, which stands out as probably my favorite movie of the past 20 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
His movie before that was Tangerine, and he shot the entire thing on an iPhone.
Wow.
And it looks great.
Yeah.
And the whole thing that carries it is it's got a great plot, and it's got good actors in it. Mm-hmm. And if somebody can do that, there's all these outlets. If you make a really good movie on your own, you might be able to find the outlet and actually make some money and get an audience.
And the challenges of a shoestring budget, will make you more inventive. If you had a limitless budget, you might just throw in explosions you don't need, and special effects you don't need, stuff that doesn't bring anything to it. But what I was going to say also is one of the tropes that they seem to be getting away from is there used to always be in these group movies and these slasher movies, there was always that one, almost always a woman, who did nothing but whimper and scream through the whole movie. And I think the worst one was in Jaws 2, where all the teenagers were out on the catamarans. And there was this, anytime it comes on, I'm like, just throw her to the sharks, because she couldn't do anything. And she just shivered and cried and whimpered through the whole movie. I thought, wow, that was your whole role, was just, and other people were trying their hardest, you know, boys and girls alike, you know, trying their hardest to fight him off and this and that. And she was just, no. And it just like, let's kill those people off first, because they always make it to the end because everybody's babying them and everything.
Yeah, I think, but I haven't seen nearly as much of that.
They've been, and women, you know, now they're empowered now, and they're often like the toughest characters in these movies, which is great.
Well, is there anything you're afraid of, or you know, afraid that's going to go bad in the future of movies?
Well, I am worried about just the business of movies and the streaming, and I feel a disconnection already. And have for years with streaming, because people are always like, oh, have you seen this movie? It's on Amazon Prime. And I'm like, are you selling me Amazon Prime? Because, you know, it's like, it's expensive. You know, it's like you start adding up all the streaming services. And I predicted this would happen as soon as Netflix came around. Everybody's like, drop your cable. You can just get Netflix for $10. And now it's like, how many streaming services do you have? And are you at the top level of all these streaming services? And are you ready for what's going to happen for more? And I never could let go with cable either, because I love sports, and I can't figure out streaming sports because it just seems to be such a hodgepodge. And one thing I can count on, you know, I like football, I like basketball, I like baseball. And if there's a good game on, I can turn on cable, and I'll find it somewhere in there. Just flip through all those channels. But I am worried about the you know, when you don't have the same streaming service as your friend, and they're watching one group of movies and you're watching another group of movies, you know. And I know that I have too much, and I can't keep up with things like network TV. I don't know any new shows that are on it anymore.
Well, the good thing is a lot of these, it's easy to drop them. So you can watch something for a month.
Right.
And sometimes you get the free, you know, the free trial thing for a month, and then you can drop it.
That's just too much work for me. And I know there are other people, and I know this would be on me too, but if you just like automatically let them take from your credit card. And there are people who have like 3 or 4 subscriptions to Netflix and didn't even realize it, you know, and they have extra subscriptions. They have subscriptions to streaming services they didn't even know they had, you know, and it's like, that and they count on that, you know. I mean, not to get into this paranoid, but they count on you not even knowing that they're getting your money every month, and you don't even know that they exist. You know?
Well, you know, I just dropped Amazon Prime, and the reason I did it is because they added commercials. To their
unless
movies,
you went to a higher level,
unless you pay them an extra $3 a month, and it's like, screw you.
It's just cable all over again. I knew it would happen like this. You know, it's like, oh, you don't have to go get.
They're going to force you to watch the advertisement.
Yeah. Well, of course, that's where they make a whole nother stream of revenue. And if you're just paying for it,
and you know, if they just put it to the beginning of the movie, okay, but I'm not going to pay for a service where they break into the
TV
movie
all over
and put a commercial in.
You know, HBO didn't do that. Cinemax didn't do that.
And I still have HBO.
I do too.
That's the reason I
try to keep up with, you know, like, and there are some great shows like White Lotus on HBO.
I need to watch that.
I think that's you've not seen it yet either. I think that's been the best TV show that I've seen anywhere in years, and almost no one I know has seen it. And it's kind of like, you feel isolated when like you're the only one who even knows this show that you think is the best show ever.
I've seen that.
What?
White Lotus.
Well, okay, great. Both seasons?
Just the second.
Okay, and I think we got a third season coming. We do have a third season coming up too. The first season's great too. So, and that's a good thing about cable is you can go to on demand. If you've already got HBO, then you can go back and watch any of it. But at the same time, HBO, you know, they came up with the prequel to Game of Thrones, that House of Dragon.
Right.
So awful. I mean, it's just a complete waste of time.
That's an example of something I couldn't keep up with how complicated it was.
Yeah.
Just Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
just
I know.
A bunch of bearded guys doing horrible things to
well,
each
it's
other.
even worse with House
seen a
of
movie
Dragon
it's a different
because
movie.
like there's like, I don't know, there must be like 8 skinny, weird-looking guys with long blonde hair, and they're all bad guys. And it's like, and they're with different families. Like, I can't keep up with these dudes. You know,
keep up.
And it's boring. Like nothing. I think the whole second season, you could have taken all of those episodes and maybe gotten 20 minutes worth of decent content. And nothing even happened in the finale. So you have to come back like 2 years later. It's like, I don't care about these people anymore.
I don't care about them enough to come back 2 years later.
And another thing I fear is that there's so many distracting options that I kind of walk away from things. Right. Like, I know I had recommended The Curse, the TV show The Curse with Emma Stone, and it was great and it was funny, and I just forgot all about it. Yeah. There are a lot of shows like that, like Only Murders in the Building. I love that, but I don't binge shows and then I forget that I was watching them. I mean, part of it's just how my mind works, and how TV is more of a comfort thing, and I don't sit down and just watch one show after another. And, so I feel like I'm missing things that I have, and I'm missing things I don't have. I don't know if it's fear of missing out, if it's FOMO, but I do feel like there's just a glut of stuff out there. Yeah. One, I'm paying so much. I mean, I probably spend $400 or $500 a month between cable and streaming and going to the theater. Yeah, and that's a lot of money to spend to still be missing half of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wanted to, before we move on and do our recommendations and stuff.
I'm not ready for that at all.
Well, one of the things that I worry about a little bit, and I think it'll sort itself out, but it's just like with music. I think AI. I think they're going to start making actors that are dead appear in movies. Well,
the Indiana Jones one, they had like a revamped Harrison Ford who was too old to be that character.
And when they create these things, they don't look right. I mean, they'll get so they look better. They'll probably get so that it's just...
You'll get used to them.
Yeah. So I am worried about that, because I think it's going to be another case of let's give everybody what we know they want rather than let's come up with something new and fun. I mean, right now, like we've been saying, it's a really creative period for movies. And we've got great stuff coming out. But I think that big studios will take the easy way out when they can. And I mean, that's why the screenwriters, they wanted some guarantees that they wouldn't be replaced by AI.
Right.
Because you could have AI write a superhero movie and probably
easily.
And probably be every bit as good as what writers are coming up with, some of these bad ones.
Well, if you're writing bad comic book movies, maybe you shouldn't be protected from AI.
Well, I think you should, because there's always the chance you can argue for something better.
Right. Yeah, and there have been so many movies that have just been so inventive. Like I was thinking about The Zone of Interest, which was the World War II Auschwitz movie. Past Lives, the movie that was great. Korean. Just beautiful, wonderful tales. And those are coming from good writers.
Right.
And that's where it all starts. So.
And they don't find huge audiences, but they find enough of an audience to make it worthwhile.
Right. And AI would never be able to write something inventive, because AI isn't meant to be creative.
But AI will be able to, before too long, create entire movies with what look like the actors and have AI do the acting.
Yeah.
Which, we know 10, 20 years from now, we will have movies that are completely done by AI.
Well, I have a lot of DVDs, so
me too.
If that's what it comes to.
Me too.
I'll go, remember those movies from the 2020s.
Stay in your lane, Grandpa.
Yeah, that's right.
But eventually, I think people will get tired of it and go back, especially because technology is so cheap that they can make things that are more...
Well, it's all about how much you're willing to invest and what kind of, if you're looking for a quick buck, or if you're looking for something of quality, or you're looking for the big bucks. It all depends on the motivation of the screen, the writers,
creator,
the directors, the producers, and all, what their agenda is, what their objective is.
Well, and one of the things that actors are afraid of is they'll be able to make AI porn with well-known actors.
Oh, I think they've already done that, haven't they?
Well, they've certainly done pictures. I don't know that they've actually done movies yet, but that's coming. That can be done probably
you've
this
seen
year.
all the little, like the little 6 or 8 year old acrobatic things where they're spinning upside down and flipping up. That's all AI too. And people are like, "Oh, this is fast. Oh, good for you, Billy." And it's like, no, Billy's not there. This is all fake.
There's no real Billy.
Right. There's no real Billy. So I don't know. I mean, it'll be challenged, but hopefully there are enough people with standards who will continue to make the good movies, and we'll have access to them.
Humans are always going to make art.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too important not to make it.
Yeah.
And so if a computer makes it, well, I think the human touch will shine through.
Right.
You'll be able to tell when you're watching a movie that was made by humans.
Right.
But I think we'll go through a period of time where everybody's all about that, and they'll make a bunch of stuff.
Well, it's like auto-tune.
Yeah.
It becomes a style unto itself.
Yeah. And some of it's horrible, and some of it's like, oh, okay.
And some of it's really interesting. I mean, when you hear Brian Eno and he's singing soprano, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, I mean, we said this last week too when we were talking about music. Artists make art and people consume art. So if you think you can just trot out some AI created thing and people are going to love it, don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. I mean, it's the most human thing we do is create things.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how we connect to each other. And AI can't do that. So I'm sure it can make a great action movie, though.
Oh yeah, it could
and
make an
all the
action
people
movie.
who are
I'm
still
getting too
loving,
old for this shit.
yeah, exactly. Flip on the AI. I'm too old for this shit.
Well, what I want to see is it the way it does pictures right now. I want to see the actors have like 7 fingers on one hand, and that's the AI I
arms
want to
that
see.
disappear into the next person's body and all that.
Well, I will say there was one thing I saw that was made totally by AI, and I think we may have talked about it at some point, but it's like a theme park ad that looks like it's from the 50s or early 60s, where you have to get out of the park before the sun goes down, or the things at the theme park will kill you.
Right.
It's scary as hell. It's
that's
great.
That's great.
But someone
inventive came up with that idea.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't dream that up.
Right.
I loved, I don't know, this is a little bit off topic, but the Helene pictures with the flooding and everything, and you saw like rescuers like carrying a kid and the little girls like holding a puppy or whatever. And it was all ridiculously AI. And then I laughed so hard. It's probably the happiest laugh of the year. There's one where a dog is carrying a little girl through the water. And he's got his paws up to hold her. It's like, people, you're falling for this. It's like, pay attention,
But it's so funny because, I'm on Facebook all the time, and I saw...
people share it. Oh, can you believe this? Oh, my heart just breaks for these people.
Yeah, well,
and that's not to diminish what they're going through, but AI just makes it worse. It just dehumanizes it.
But one of the posts where this woman had posted that picture, and everybody's going, "This is AI, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And it's like, and this poor woman trying to defend it.
Yeah,
it was sad, but it was also.
Well, I
kind of
know,
fun.
and it's like you think of people, very good, sweet people who might think, "Oh, that's just so touching," and then you're like, "Oh, you're a fool." So,
Yeah, there's definitely both sides of it.
Yeah. Well, I could talk on and on, but if we want to kick into our recommendations, we can do that too.
I'm good with recommendations, unless you want to say some more stuff about it.
Well, I had notes, but they were all non-essential notes. That's what I decided. After forcing us to go through 50 years of the music industry as a prelude to our topic.
Last week was kind of a challenge, Chuck.
It was a challenge. I don't know why you made me do that. I told you, I said, let's keep it simple. And you're like, no, you need to lead us through 50 years of the industry and all the changes.
Just for the record, that was not my topic.
No, right.
Wasn't mine either.
Oh, yeah, it's that fourth guy that we never see around here anymore. But anyway, we'll give you a break this time.
It was Steve's idea.
Steve. It's always Steve.
Steve's such a jerk.
He's never had a good idea or an original idea. He must be AI. I think he's our AI host, So, anyway,
all right.
Let's go to recommendations.
Okay.
How about it? What do you want? You've not been talking much, so why don't you give us something?
A friend of ours invited us. She purchased a movie matinee at the Bijou Theater as it was a fundraiser for, which is a local music and performance space in Knoxville here where we're doing the broadcast.
Right.
And so she picked out a movie, and it's Game Night.
Oh, okay.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
And Rachel McAdams and Kyle Chandler, who was the coach in Friday Night Lights, and Jesse Plemons, who was also in Friday Night Lights.
Right.
It was really funny. It's one of those kind of genre blurring sort of movies because it's sort of a whodunit, but it's also really funny.
Yeah.
And Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I remember that, and it's one of the things I think some of the adult comedies that we were seeing so much of, they have drifted off a little bit.
Yeah.
We're not seeing quite as many of those new ones come out, and that's a shame because I mean, I was thinking about Rough Night, about the female counterpoint to Hangover and all that. It's like I don't know where I would see a movie like this anymore. It's just kind of balls to the wall, humor, stupid,
I don't think people are feeling really funny.
Maybe that's
And
it.
plus, I think people are so sensitive right now. I think there's a real sensitivity that everybody is afraid of humor.
Right. And if you laugh at something without realizing that someone doesn't appreciate that or something, I don't know. Well, I want to bring up one because this is actually something that leads to something I did want to talk to you about.
Okay.
But rom-coms. We did talk about rom-coms and how
did.
rom-coms are kind of...
On the wane.
On the wane, yes. And how you hate rom-coms because they celebrate toxic masculinity. So
And
tell us what you think
everything.
about the rom-com.
Well, I ruin every rom-com for my girlfriend Sarah. Because,
Poor Sarah.
well, it's like You've Got Mail. It's like, no, in real life he's a stalker. Mm-hmm. Or Love Actually, where the best friend is actually in love with his best friend's now wife. It's the wedding, and she thinks that he's mad. Oh. And it's like, then he shows up with a sign that basically says he loves her.
Oh.
And it's like, this is the worst friend in the world. And it's always
But
set,
it's true love.
But
You
it's
should win over everything.
in all these damn movies. It's like, just keep trying, and it's
Right.
like, no.
Right.
When a
Back
woman
off.
or a
She's
man
got her life.
tells you no,
These people need to see past lives, right?
past lives is
Perfect
the
way to handle that.
absolute opposite.
Yeah.
Because it's so realistic, and it leaves, if you're a couple, I mean, Sarah and I talked about it for days.
Yeah. It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
But it's not there's no calm to it.
Yeah.
It's just a romantic drama.
Right.
But all these movies that are pitched toward especially women, and then they wonder why guys are so screwed up and don't know what to do. It's because they watch these freaking rom-coms with women, and it's like, no, they learn.
It's unrealistic expectations. It's very destructive behavior for secondary characters, especially. And yeah.
And it's terrible. I mean, I would love to see. John Sayles. We talked about John Sayles a minute ago. His movie Baby It's You. It's got some funny stuff in it, but it's very realistic. And it's, the guy is kind of a jerk in some ways, but you recognize he's kind of a jerk. It's not like, oh, I'm going to fix him. I mean, she gives that up pretty quick in that movie.
Right.
But those are the movies. They keep pushing these bad ideas, and
You didn't like the rom-com.
oh, it makes it pisses. They piss me
You
off.
had to go and do it, didn't
They
you?
I
piss
had to
me
go
off.
there. Well, I'm going to recommend a rom-com.
Oh hell!
And it's a really old movie, too. 1978, Foul Play, with Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn.
I remember liking it.
Goldie Hawn, absolutely adorable. She could do no wrong. And even Chevy Chase, who's kind of a jackass in a lot of movies, and you don't really get a warm feeling, but he's like this handsome, weird cop, and she's a librarian, he's a cop, and they come together because she's somehow come across a terroristic plot against the Pope. And it's in San Francisco, but it's funny. It's so many secondary characters. I think the best one is Burgess Meredith and the old gal having their big fight when they're all tied up. But anyway, it's great. It's funny. It's off color at times. There are a few things. This was 78, so there are a few things that are probably not going to pass, trigger warnings at this day. But it was just very winning. And I bought it. I got it as a used DVD for like $3 and a couple of years ago, and I loaned it to my sister, who I guess had never seen it. And she said she couldn't believe, that it was as old as it was, because it really holds up, and it was really funny and charming. And so, Foul Play, Chevy Chase, Goldie Hawn, nice throwback to rom-com before it became. And he didn't break up her relationship. She didn't break up his relationship. They didn't. The worst thing in the rom-coms for me is after the second act, there's been this big misunderstanding and nobody's talking to each other and everybody's upset and walking down streets alone with piano music. I get tired of that. I laugh at that scene too in movies, so I got to watch out. There. But this one, just a kind of a still kind of fresh feeling, just a happy, funny movie. And as far as Chevy Chase goes, he made those terrible Fletch movies. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to bring this up, too. In 2022, John Hamm took over Fletch, and he did a movie called Confess Fletch, which is a real low-budget or low-key movie. Mm-hmm. Funny. It was great. Oh. It was just another movie that I'd forgotten all about. It was just a couple of years ago. And it's the Fletch character, only in John Hamm's hands. It's John Hamm's hands. It's not so ham-handed as it was with Chevy Chase. Anyway,
I was willing you to get to that.
Yeah, I got there.
I thought you were setting it up for that.
Yeah, I wasn't, but I got there anyway. Y'all willed me to get there.
Well, I'm going to recommend, because Sarah had never seen Breaking Bad. We watched Breaking Bad, and it had the effect on her, exact effect that I wanted it to. She was addicted, just like I was when I saw it when it first came out. And it's like, you've got to come over. We have to watch a couple episodes. That's the way it was. Well, now we're on Better Call Saul. And Better Call Saul, the first show had incredible numbers as far as viewers. And then it fell off. And I wasn't as enthusiastic about it because the first season is pretty slow.
Okay.
But then it starts kicking in. And you've got characters like Michael McKean, who is a real revelation. He was in,
he's
know him.
Fantastic.
You know him from all the Christopher Guest movies.
Oh, yeah.
Spinal Tap. Mm-hmm. And he's funny as all get out.
Laverne and Shirley
as Lenny. But in this, he is so incredibly hateful and so good.
Okay.
I had not realized what a great actor he is until I saw this. And he's tremendous. I
love that show, and Leslie and I couldn't really get through Breaking Bad because it was so brutal and so violent. But Better Call Saul is got the same surgical storytelling,
right?
And there is some violence, but it's more implied.
Well, till you get to the very end, and there's to me, it was like it builds up each season until it becomes Breaking Bad with the brutality at the end of it.
It's been so long, I don't remember the end.
Well, off air, we'll talk about it. But
I forget a lot of endings of movies I liked and shows. I don't know why.
But this stands up, and it is maybe as good as Breaking Bad. It may not be. It's not as precise a story, but there's a lot more humor. And once you get through the first season, which is not bad, but a disappointment from Breaking Bad, it starts picking up, and it's every bit as engrossing. Man, I think it's great.
And who's I can't remember his name, the main character.
Bob Odenkirk.
He does such a great job.
Bob Odenkirk's great. Reese Seahorn, who's the girlfriend in it, as hateful, as much as you despise Skyler in Breaking Bad, you love Kim in Better Call Saul. Because I hadn't realized until watching Breaking Bad, it's pretty misogynistic. All the women characters, all the female characters are really hateful. And in Better Call Saul, it's kind of the opposite. There's a lot of really good
female
female
characters. Talking to.
Well, I think they just realized that they had done that.
Probably had an all-male writing staff or whatever, and they're like, oh, damn.
Maybe.
This shouldn't have been like this.
But Kim in this, is a terrific character, and she's really kind of the moral center in Breaking Bad is Jesse. And in this, she's kind of the moral center.
All right. We want to flip over to music?
Yeah.
All right. You want to go first?
Well, okay, since I'm already talking. I'm going to recommend a brand new album. It came out at the end of 2025 by Bill Mize, who is one of the great fingerstyle.
End of 2024?
Yeah, end of 2024.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. He's one of the great fingerstyle guitarists in the country. He's originally from this area. He grew up in the Pittman Center area near Gatlinburg. But I first heard him on a Windham Hill guitar sampler back when Windham Hill was a thing with independent instrumental music. And he has always been, after that, he's become one of my favorite guitar players ever. This is extremely relaxing.
Bill Mize, M-I-Z-E?
M-I-Z-E. Okay. And he's living out in Montana now. But this album has 14 tracks on it. 3 of them have Tennessee in the title, so I think he's kind of homesick. But he does.
What's the name of that album?
The album is called The South Wind.
Okay.
And he is a really, really creative, inventive guitar stylist. And there's several covers on here, including a song by the Swan Silvertones, which is a gospel quartet that was here in Knoxville back in the 40s and the 50s. And a great version of Shenandoah, a great version of Tennessee Waltz, a great version of Dolly Parton's Light of a Clear Blue Morning. They're all instrumentals, but it's one of those things where you can put it on and it's relaxing and pretty, and then you pay attention to it and you realize just how intricate and creative he is as an artist. He's absolutely terrific, and this is at least one of his best albums, if not his best.
Cool. All right. John.
Well, I discovered this band. How did I find them? I guess, I don't know. I just think I had Apple Music on just random shuffle.
Okay.
And this song
That
came
can
up, and I
happen.
was like, wow, who is that?
Okay.
Oh, no, I know. I got it from Paste magazine.
Okay.
It's a brand new record by a band called Second Grade.
Okay.
And they're from Philadelphia. And the guy is one main guy, and he writes just these little bursts of jangly pop songs that are really kind of twisted, and then they're over. I mean, like this, the new album that just came out is called Scheduled Explosions, and it has 23 songs on it, but the entire playing time of the album is 39 minutes.
Wow.
So it's a whole bunch of little short things.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of Guided by Voices, and just the recording quality is sometimes kind of, things are pushed into distortion, and it sounds like maybe it was recorded on a 4-track cassette recorder or something, but then other things sound more fully rounded out, but he's just a fountain of really great pop ideas.
Huh. All right.
And there's an album before that one is called Easy Listening. It's not easy listening, but it's I think it's a bit more studio savvy, a little less all over the place recording quality wise. It's a little better recorded. Right. And that helps you to understand his ideas a little better, just when you can get through the sea of hiss. But anyway, second grade.
The Sea of Hiss. That's a really good name
Hiss.
for either a band or an album. The Sea of Hiss.
The Sea of Hiss. I like that.
So yeah, second grade.
Okay. So I want to talk about Eurythmics, but I want to talk about the Eurythmics album Savage. This was like their next to last album. They had already been through their initial burst and then the big brassy stuff they started doing in the 1984 soundtrack. Right. But Savage was, I think, the next to last new material album that they released, and probably their least successful. But I think it's their most.
Sorry,
okay?
I got leg cramp.
Oh, okay. I think it's their best album, even though it was the least appreciated. And it's almost like a concept album, and they have a video for each song, and Annie Lennox, of course, the singer, is several different characters, and Dave Stewart is just in his groove. And they go through all these different types of music, and it's kind of about breaking up. And it starts with this real kind of thumping, swirling kind of electronic music to start with a song called Beethoven, where she says, "I love to listen to Beethoven. I love," and then she does this spoken word passage. But then it goes into a really kind of sarcastic song called "Do You Want to Break Up?" And she's just all these different characters. And at the end, what I like is after the flippant "Do You Want to Break Up?" she has a really cold soul called "You've Placed a Chill in My Heart." And then it goes from that to this hot soul, I consider this really hard rock, "I Need a Man." I don't know if you remember that, but she's just like, "I need a man." Just like this unhinged song. And then she goes into this really like bitter soul, just this acoustic song, and she's like at a party, and she's just like, I need you to really feel the crush of my back breaking. She's just talking to the lover she's trying to leave, and it's really just spectacularly their best album and their least appreciated. So if you think you like, Love is a Stranger and Sweet Dreams and all that stuff, it's like you owe it to them to, at least stream this one and try to catch what they were selling. I think at that point, they had already peaked, and how some artists, no matter how good they are, it's already been time for them to go away, and I think that's just what happened to them.
Had she already made her first solo album before this came out?
Probably.
Okay.
It was 87, this Savage was.
Okay.
Because
I would have normally I would think I've listened to that, but I don't remember it at all.
Oh, it was so good. So good. I mean, it's the one that I go to when I want to hear the Eurythmics. Eurythmics, Savage.
Okay.
And that's it.
Cool.
Great.
All right, everybody. Well, we'll see you at the movies, okay? And if we're laughing inappropriately, try not to get too mad at us. We're old and we get scared easily. So
We laugh at cliches.
Yeah, we
Yes,
just
we
laugh
do.
at cliches.
We
Maybe
do.
go think about what you're enjoying if we're laughing at it. Just joking. All right, we'll see y'all later.
you
We'll
next
talk to y'all later.
You've been listening to How We Heard It with Chuck Campbell and Wayne Bledsoe, a podcast about music, art, culture, movies, whatever they want to talk about. How We Heard It was recorded in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Arbor Studio by John Baker. If you believe you've been abducted by aliens during the listening to this podcast, we take no responsibility for that. How We Heard It is a Tear Owl production, and if you'd like to reach out to Chuck or Wayne, send an email to howweheardit@gmail.com. Come on back next week and we'll have another show for you.